Okay, assignment 45, page 44. So you had 7 of these to do. We did 1 or 2 of them in class, but there wasn't a whole lot of space. If you write small, you're good. If not, hopefully you used a separate piece of paper. So I needed a little bit of help on this one. So I have a partner here, Rufus from the math department. Just wanted to introduce himself there. So he'll be helping us as we work through these problems. So the first one, I already highlighted that we have a red one and a green one, which is the small and it's the medium. So the small one has a short leg of x and a long leg of 6. The medium one, if you think of it like that was really, it's turned sideways, so the 6 is actually the short leg, and the long leg is 12. So it's x over 6 equals 6 over 12. So 12x equals 36. And Rufus, what is 36 divided by 12? Exactly, it's just 3. That one didn't have a radical in it. It just had a linear cross multiplication of 3. So the next one, again, same thing. Oh, we did this one in class, so I'll just put it back up there. It was a small, as you can see, and a large. We had nothing really to do with the medium at all. The short leg of the small was 4. The hypotenuse was x. The short leg of the large was x, and the hypotenuse was 24. So it's x squared equals 96. 96 breaks up into 16 and 6, radical 16 and radical 6. And then x equals 4 radical 6. Exactly, 4 radical 6. Good. Okay, moving on to number 3. Looks like we have a medium and a large. The medium has a long leg of 10. All right, we don't know the short leg, but it has a long leg of 10 and a hypotenuse of x. The medium has a long leg of 10 and a hypotenuse, set that backwards, a long leg of 10 and a hypotenuse of x. And the large triangle has a long leg of x and a hypotenuse of 16. This is really the long leg of the large, and that's the hypotenuse of the large. So we have x squared equals 160. So now we have to take the square root of 160. And what perfect square goes into 160? Right, 16. So it's 16 and 10, which becomes 4 radical 10. We had a 16 and a 10 in class today, so that's a similar example. Number 4. Looks like it's going to be a small and a medium. That'll always be the case when you have the middle label there, the altitude label. So the small one has a short leg of 5 and a long leg of x. And the medium one has, right, and a, good, the medium has a short leg of x and a long leg of 10. So if we set that up, we have x squared equals 50 when we cross multiply. And we take the square root of 50, which is not a perfect square. What obvious perfect square goes into 50? Well, I'll try again. Right, 25 and 2. Square root of 25 is 5, radical 2. Next one, number 5. Little skinny one on the side here. We have a little tiny small one, the red one on the right, which has a short leg of 1 and a long leg of x. And the sideways medium one has a short leg of x and a long leg of 9. So x squared equals 9. 9 is a perfect square. And we all know that the square root of 9... Right, I know, that one was easy. What, x equals 3. Right. Number 6, the answer's already here because we one or two of the classes did this one. I'm not sure all 3 did it, but number 6 has a small and a large. So the short leg of the small is 2. The hypotenuse of the small is, very good, x. And if you look at the large red one, the short leg is x, very good, and the hypotenuse is, that was weird, 16, because you add up the entire bottom. So that's where that comes from. So x squared is 32. X squared, I'll go through this again, is 32. You want the biggest perfect square that goes into 32. Nice job, 16 and 2. So the square root of 16 is 4, radical 2. Some of the packets got cut off at the bottom. You might not have seen the 20 there. So make sure you know that the bottom is 20, which makes that other part 16 and the little part 4. So make sure you know that before we go any further. No, I apologize. It's just the way that they copied. You know, I didn't mean for that to happen. Oh, no problem. Okay, so if you look at these two triangles, you don't know much about the small, but you do know two things about the medium. You know that the long leg of the medium is 16. You know the hypotenuse of the medium is x. And then if you look at the large one, you know that the long leg is x, and the hypotenuse is the entire 20. So you have an equation of x squared equals, not quite, x squared equals what? Okay, 320, right. You can do that on a calculator. So 320 is not a perfect square, but when we break down the square root of 320, we have to find a perfect square that goes into 320. Right, just use your calculator. So divide them all by different perfect squares. Right, this is a big one. It actually comes out to be 64 and 5. 64 times 5 is 320. I know, who would have known, right? So the square root of 64 is 8, radical 5. So I continue to try to entertain you with these videos. There's your 7. I even put the answers in there. Hopefully you watch this. And when you come in tomorrow, tell me who provided you with this video. It was Mr. Fields and Rufus. The dog's name was Rufus.